Let your dreams become your future video game idea. It can happen. And also, who doesn't love mech fighters? This and more with games you should check out. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Games You Should Check Out. This is episode 3, and I want to say, for first-time viewers, this series is about me talking about some games you guys should be playing, and at the very end, I have viewers like you that recommend their own games with the 1-minute crunch. Now, what this segment is where they describe a game that you guys should be playing, and they have to do it in about 1 minute. But for returning viewers, I want to say a big thank you for all the support I've been getting so far. You guys, this series would not be a thing without you at all. I mean, I'm very happy with all the 1-minute crunches I've been getting, and people just really coming together and just recommending some great video games. But without further ado, here's some games that you should check out. LSD Dream Emulator, released in 1998 for the Sony PlayStation, is a dream simulation of a unique surreal journey inspired by the actual dream journals of the studio's artist. The game is set in a first-person perspective in a 3D environment, and the player navigates through the dream world, and the idea is to simply walk around and explore things, and if the player bumps into walls or other objects, it will be linking to another environment, to another dream. Now, each dream lasts about 10 minutes, but if you fall off a cliff or maybe fall into a hole, the player will wake up and you'll be brought back to a graph to show your progress within the game. Your progress in past dreams could really affect the outcomes of future dreams, which makes this game very sporadic and has a lot of replay value. Released only in Japan, it had a very limited print run and has become a cult classic. This game I recommend for more of the experience than just the gameplay. Totally check it out. Cyberbots Full Metal Madness, released in Japan as simply Cyberbots, is a fighting game developed and published by Capcom in 1995. It's a spin-off of a beat-em-up game called Armored Warriors. Cyberbots was also ported to the Sega Saturn and the Sony PlayStation 1. Now, from first glance, this looks like just your typical average 2D fighter that Capcom does very, very well, but what makes this game really shine is the ability of customization of your mechs. Similar to the Armored Core series, different legs affect different movement, same with arms, with weapons, and can be mixed and matched in between your robots to make your own fighting style. You can download it on the PSN store on the PlayStation 3, and I actually downloaded this not too long ago and I'm really enjoying it with the Capcom Flash sale. I highly recommend you guys check this game out. If you grew up in the 90s and love mech anime, you'll feel right at home. Mighty Switch Force is a puzzle platformer developed by Wayward Technologies for the Nintendo 3DS. The player controls a cyborg police officer named Patricia Wagon, who has to round up a group of escaped female convicts. The goal of each level is to find all the escaped convicts and return back to the exit point as quickly as possible. Along with the ability to jump and shoot, Patricia has the ability to push in and out of blocks dotted around the stage, using them as platforms or a means to destroy certain enemies. There are also various other types of blocks which can launch blocks that send you to a different platform or maybe even a different direction. The game's difficulty is kind of like a slow cooker. It starts out kind of holding your hand and you think, oh, this is going to be very simplistic, but then you're thrown with reality that this is a puzzle platformer and it becomes very tedious in some of the levels, but overall very enjoyable. If you're looking for a fantastic game to download on the eShop for your 3DS, definitely give this a go. It's really affordable and you'll have barrels of fun. And now is that time for 1-minute crunch.
The game I want to recommend for you today is actually a game that was released only 2 years ago, and it was on the Wii U. The reason I want to suggest this game for everyone is that the fact that not many people actually have played this. It is Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. You can get it really cheaply right now. I did. It's the sort of game that I wanted to play when it was released, but I waited and the wait was good because now I found it so cheap. It's the spiritual successor to Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii. You can customize your character the way that you want. The story in this game is that the Earth is destroyed and you are sent out to an alien planet called Mira, where you have to colonize and start the human race all over again, kind of. So the world is really big. It's an open world RPG. This game has a main hub and it's called New LA. There are a lot of different class options. The first hours you will probably most likely not understand where you're going or what you're supposed to do, because this game does not hold your hand in any way. You have to thoroughly read through everything and try to understand the game as you go along. That is kind of the downside to the game. It's so hard to get into, but once you do, it is totally worth it. I have to say, the music is really good at some points, but also really bad at other points. The best song in this game so far is definitely the overworld song, the song that's playing when you're exploring. So this game is definitely one that you should check out. So that was my 1 minute crunch. Now back to you, Xander.
Big thank you to Irene for her submission of 1 Minute Crunch, and I do agree, Xenoblade Chronicles X is probably one of the best JRPGs that came out that year, and it is a Wii U exclusive. Right now it's really cheap, but with the Wii U, ceasing production, I could see the game's really starting to climb up in value, so I would say definitely go out and check this game out as soon as possible. You will definitely not be disappointed. And also, check out Ursha Gaming. That's Irene's channel. I have a link on the description below so you guys can check out her content. She brings out some great stuff. She sent me Norwegian candy one time, and I'm still just wanting some of that chocolate, man. The chocolate was so good. But she's a good friend of mine, and definitely check her channel out. Well, this concludes another episode of Games You Should Check Out, and then if you have a 1 minute crunch, be sure to email us at xsgamingpodcast@gmail.com. I'll have a link on that on the description so you guys can check that out. And don't forget to hit that bell. What is the bell? The bell is going to be right beside the subscribe button, and this will notify you when my channel is coming out with anything that's new in content, rather it's this series, rather it's Let's Plays, rather it's reviews. I have a lot of stuff planned, or even my audio podcast, XS Game Podcast, that you can check out here or on podomatic.com on iTunes. With E3 being right around the corner from recording this, we're going to be recording episode 103 and talk about our impressions of E3. I'm really looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, happy gaming.
Can't get enough of XS Gaming Podcast? Be sure to check out our audio podcast on podomatic.com. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes. And if you have a YouTube channel or podcast you'd like to share, be sure to check us out on Facebook on our group page and join the community. As always, guys, thank you so much for all the support, and happy gaming.